objects are you seeing? And now close your eyes, and I can tell you, you have seen a minimum of 2 or 3 more blue objects. Now you can open your eyes again and see my beautiful face. Now that is the power of the subconscious mind. When you start coding it with the right information and the right questions, it starts looking for the answers. Yeah. So please, my request to you is start looking and coding your subconscious mind with the right language. And now, towards the end of this, I want to leave you with rebooting health. So most of us, all of us here, the minute you say health, you think, I need to go to the gym, I need to lose weight, I need to get very fit. Well, health is much more than just fitness. There are 3. We need to be healthy in all 3 areas. You know what that is? Mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. We require to be healthy, mind, body, and spirit. So how can we get healthy, mind, body, and spirit? We all know, but we don't do it. So let me give you a very simple ritual, okay? Rituals enable us to get healthy. And there is this one routine that I do that has worked miracles and magic for me. And I'm going to share it with you. It is the 20-20-20 formula of Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma is a very well-known author and a leadership coach. And he has this wonderful formula. You can look it up. You can look it up on YouTube, and it's a brilliant formula. I'm going to have a quick cup of my tea, which has gone cold. And this is an amazing formula because it applies for the first hour of your day. So 60 minutes of your day. For the first 20 minutes, you get up and you start working out, sweating profusely, a vigorous workout. Now, what happens when you are working out for the first 20 minutes? It releases BDNF, a brain chemical that actually grows neural connections, and it enables you to go into action for the rest of the day. What else does it do? It releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter, literally the neurotransmitter of motivation, dopamine, as well as serotonin. And when all these hormones are released, what happens is you are set in the right frame to take the day on. What do you do in the next 20 minutes? The next 20 minutes, you sit, you reflect, you review your plan, you create your dream sheet, you figure out what you want to do. Maybe you create a visioning sheet for yourself and spend time introspecting on what are the goals you have met and what goals you have not met. And if you've not met any goals, don't be hard on yourself. Say, well, I'm going to take this on tomorrow. Yeah. And the last 20 minutes, all you're required to do is use that time to grow yourself, learning material. There's a lot of things out there on YouTube, anything that uplifts you. I use that 20-minute time to actually do my meditation. I use that time to immerse myself in prayer, and that gives me enough fuel to take the day on. So the 20-20-20 formula, like you see, there's something in it for the body, there's something in it for the spirit, and there is something in there for the mind. So you are stimulating all 3 aspects and moving yourself towards good health. So whenever you feel that, hey, I really do not know what to do, start adopting the 20-20 practice. And believe me, this formula will shift your life. It has shifted mine over the past 15 years. So I'm going to leave you with some breath work. You know, breath work is very important. And especially now with all that's happening, let's just do breath work. Okay. Why breath work? Because breath work is the first thing. Actually, the only thing you do is breathe. So let's get conscious about breath and how we can infuse and create a new reality just by being conscious of our breath. Okay. This is not a spiritual session. This is, we use these different types of breath work, especially when we are ready to go for a meeting, or I use it also when I'm ready to make a presentation. And it's very, very interesting. So please use it. Okay. So the first thing that you can do, this breath work is whenever you're anxious and stressed. If you realize that whenever we're anxious and stressed, we normally store our anxiousness here. Okay, right here. Okay. So what do we do in this breath work is you close your eyes, take a deep breath through your nose, collect your anxiousness in your gut, and then exhale like this. Yeah. Deep breath and exhale. So this will enable you to dispel your nervous energy and stressful energy, and will enable you to take on the next bunch of work that you really want to do. And the final thing I want to leave you with is another kind of breath work. Now, do note, this breath work is the most dynamic breath work. It's called the alpha breath work. What it does, it activates the alpha brain waves. Your alpha brain waves are dominant when there are quietly flowing thoughts and in meditative states. So whenever you're ready to make the next pitch, when you're ready to go for the next interview, when you're ready to actually sit down and work on yourself, use this breath work, because it'll enable you to get in the right state to tackle the job or the task at hand. So how does the uh, alpha breathing go? You take a deep breath, exhale the way I taught you. You do that once, and then you take 3 deep breaths from your nose and out of your mouth, like this. Yeah. You take 3 to 5 deep breaths. I take 3. If you started on this journey, start taking 5 deep breaths. If you do it now, you will actually see a shift in the way your mind starts relaxing and composing itself. It doesn't relax, doesn't put you to sleep. It composes itself and gets you calm. So these are a few um, aspects that I really wanted to share with you. Everything I have shared with you is from my learning. I do hope it has made some sense. And guys, let's use this time to reboot. Yeah, let's reboot. Let's get together and reboot. I'm always available to you if you really require any more information. I'm here. You can reach out to me on my handles, social media. You can find me. I'm very, very famous. No, 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 I'm joking. You can definitely find me and inbox me, and I'll be happy to help you on this journey. So over to you, Sonam. I'm done.
Well, hello everyone. Did you enjoy the session? I hope you all had a good time listening to Sushma's insights, because I certainly did. I made these many notes while she was talking, and I've been deep breathing myself. And thank you so much, Sushma. Enlightening and invigorating and recharging and rebooting this session certainly was. Now, Sushma, I'm not going to let you go without a couple of questions that our viewers have posed, and would like to ask them one by one.
Sure.
The first question that we got over here is the subconscious mind related to age?
Yes. So the subconscious mind actually starts developing right from the time you're born. And it is about 80 or 90%, I don't have the actual figure, really almost fully developed before you are 8 years old. Can you imagine? Before you're 8. So it's very important that, especially for those of us who are children, that we enable them to create a subconscious mind or feed them codes that empower them. Yeah. So because we're all the time grasping and we're learning, and we're like a sponge when we are kids, and we are grasping and learning, and that learning sits in us as a code, and we start creating what we call our reality and our own code of how we're going to deal with the world, what the world means to me, and our own entire meaning of what the world means to me and our reality actually is a code fed into your subconscious mind. Because so now, actually, when you're born, what do you know? What does a
Nothing.
child know?
Nothing.
How do you know it knows nothing?
I mean, the child learns. I mean, we slowly learn.
For all you know, Sonam, the child knows everything, but they cannot communicate with us. So we start feeding the code of language, and we enable the child to communicate with us. And then we start feeding the code of association. So the child knows, Are, every time there is this good, good, good happens, and I do wah, 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 there is something that comes in my mouth. So it
Yes.
starts learning through association.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a child afraid of fire? No, absolutely not.
No.
But anytime they get burnt in the fire, they say, "Oh my God, I'm not
Right.
supposed to do this." And same with relationships. The first time my heart got broken by my boyfriend, I was like, "Oh my God, my heart is broken." And these type of people do this type of thing. And then everyone who does that type of thing, we actually put and start feeding into our code. Every time we're betrayed, that code. Every time someone cheats us, our code. And our entire experience of this life is based on that subconscious code.
Brilliant, brilliantly answered. Thank you so much, Sushma. Our next question to Sushma that we've got from one of our viewers, I think a very interesting, very relevant question in these challenging times, is how do we deal with depression?
Oh, wow. Very close to my my heart. This topic is very close to my heart. Well, I must tell you, I battled depression. I'm going to be very upfront and honest. Nobody knew I was depressed. I was the most happy, fun-loving person. I'm sure the entire industry is like, ah, really? Yes, I was depressed. I was not. I was. Thank God, I had not reached the point of wanting to harm myself. Yet it's all the same. Yeah, you are out there smiling, and in your heart, you're all alone. So the one thing you can do, and if you are, stop saying the word depressed. Stop saying that. Stop labeling yourself, I'm depressed. Yeah. Because that itself puts you on a back foot. What I would really recommend is that if you're low, if you really don't know to find a way out, start learning about yourself. Start seeing what are the triggers. Be honest with yourself. Start meditation. In fact, there is this do breath work, because breath work worked magic for me. It worked magic. There is this one breath work, Sonam, that a gentleman named Mitra Soot from Maitri family is doing. He's doing 21 days of breath work. Get on his page on Insta, mitra.soot, and follow 21 days of this breath work, because breath work can shift your physiology as well as your psychology as well as your biology. Yeah. So start breath work, and of course reach out to anyone. Be connected. That is the most important thing, because we need to feel loved when we feel alone.
Wow, breathwork can really shift our physiology. Well, moving on. Our next question, Sushma. I'm sorry for bombarding you with so many
No,
questions.
I'm fine. I'm
I've
absolutely.
got
We've
so
got
many
time.
questions, and this session is so relevant, especially right now, that we need to reboot more than ever. Our next question that I've got is, can we really control or change our subconscious mind?
You know what we can do? I don't like to use the word control. Yeah, because their control again comes from a language that, you know what, I have a control. Actually, it's all about allowance. Yes, we can reprogram it. We can reprogram it. Some of the tools I've actually explained here can help you reprogram your subconscious mind. The first step to reprogramming your subconscious mind is to befriend it. Don't look at it as an enemy. Look at what is the code that has been fed in. What is your perspective of life? Sit and write down every single disempowering belief you have and every single empowering belief you have. Yeah, in all 5 areas of your life. The minute you start writing it down, you will actually see the program. I commit this to you. You will see the program of how your life has turned out and why it has turned out the way it is, because it's all in what you are thinking about yourself as well as others. So that's why we're calling this program Reboot, Sonam, because it's about reprogramming.
All right, very well answered. Thank you so much, Sushma. Our next question is not really the one that has been posed, but I have been wanting to ask this personally. Now that we're all going through challenging times, we're in a lockdown, there's no social connect. I mean, there's no social physical contact, at least. Of course, there's a connect online. But are there any books or any classes, anything that you can recommend that we can take up to kind of, fill in this time, help ourselves, improve ourselves?
Okay. There are a few people that I follow. Maybe these are possibly I'm just going to share with you what I have learned over a period of time. So when you want to really understand more about the subconscious mind, start follow Brian Tracy. He talks a lot about the subconscious mind. Anthony Robbins, get those books. They're phenomenal. There is this gentleman who's actually cried when he died, Sonam. His name is Wayne Dyer. Oh my God. Even though I've never met him, I've learned so much from him. These are people that enable you to re-engineer. Yeah, you can also read a few spiritual books. Why spiritual? Not because you really want to go to an ashram and become one spiritual monk, but also it gives you insights. Because right from our Vedas, we're one of the most, we are the ancient civilization, for God's sake. So let's delve into all our learnings as an ancient civilization and learn what we need to learn, right? So you can actually follow Muji. There are many people, spiritual masters. Ensure that you do not get stuck to one. There is a lot out there. You can really go out there and learn. There's Dada Shriji, there's Muji. I'm sure all of you have heard Sadhguru. Yet the idea is to be content. So there are the 2, 3 people not really well known. Yet I'm going to share their names. Uh, the names are Muji.
Right.
Yeah, you're writing it down. Okay. The name is Gangaji. She's wonderful. She's brilliant. She teaches a lot of interesting aspects. There's Ma Gyan Suvira. There is my own, someone I have learned deeply from, Dada Shriji. So these are people that enable you with tools that you can utilize in today's day and age. It's not religion, it's spirituality. Big difference. Yeah. So I will definitely ensure I write it. I think Manika also asked a question, Manika, about the areas, literally the coding, the 5 things that influence our code, right? Actually, they're the product of the coding, and that is judgments, presumptions, assumptions, prejudgments, and beliefs. Yeah, that is the answer for you, Manika. Yeah. Sorry, I just saw the chat. She just chatted. So I just saw the chat, Sonam.
Lovely. Lovely. So, okay, now that I've written the names of books that I need to read during this lockdown, thank you for that, Sushma. There's another question that I got in my personal chat on Facebook when we were about to go live, and I really wanted to ask you this. What is self-sabotage, and how can we really deal with it?
Okay, this is a very interesting session. So I'm going to take 2 minutes to do this if I have your permission. Okay. Now, what is so I'm going to give you a very, very simple example. What is the subconscious mind developed for? That's the key. Subconscious mind has been developed with only one purpose, and that purpose is to protect you. Okay. Now, it sounds very weird, right? To help you survive, to protect you, and to help you survive. Now, how can not going to the gym help you survive? We don't know. Yet, there are sometimes we don't want to go to. I'm giving you a very simple example of the gym. Okay. So, what do? We do it for 5, 6 days, and then we say, hey, we self sabotage and say, hey, you know what? We don't need this. Because maybe at some point of time, we have equated, literally some point, we have equated going to the gym with is equal to something. And that something that we have equated going to the gym with is what our subconscious mind perceives as dangerous. Yeah, it's as simple. So let me give you my own example. Okay. It's very honest. It's a very honest example. I'm literally putting myself out there. Okay. So I used to do these videos on Instagram. Okay. Sonam, I think I told you about it.
Yes.
I used to do these videos on Instagram and I was very excited. I love being a mad person that I am, and I was shoot and all. I didn't really care about how I looked, whether I put makeup, I didn't put makeup. And this one person actually told me that you know what, you're doing these videos, the camera angle is not good. It was a constructive criticism, mind you. It was a constructive criticism. Yet what happened to me, the coding kind of popped up, and every time that of my childhood, that I really wanted to do something, and someone let me down, and someone didn't allow, said something to me, I would get very in the offensive, or I would get on the defensive. And that same coding came up for me. I mean, only about doing my videos, Sona. Only about doing my videos. Can you believe it? So for 4 months, I didn't post.
Yeah, I was
single video. Yeah, I didn't post because every time I went to post, I was like, maybe the camera angle is not right. And someone actually even told me, you know what, you've got a Catholic accent. Now, the weirdest thing is because when I was a child, in the first 7 years of my child, I've had a very lonely childhood. Okay. So most of my adult life, I created this entire vibe that I am this whole freaking extrovert, when actually in my heart of hearts, I was an introvert. Again, I'm using labels, all right? So I labeled myself as an introvert. So the minute that lady told, the person told me that, you know what, don't do these videos, da, 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 that introvert got activated. And I actually stopped doing videos. So you know what? I've been posting for the past 21 days. You know why? To reprogram my subconscious mind. Yeah. So I hope that has answered the
Very
question.
inspiring.
So we self-sabotage without knowing why. Because there is some program that has been fed in, whether you're 6 years old, 8 years old, and this entire thing is actually a science. Because there are certain programs fed in when you are a kid. That program is, I'm not worthy, I'm not loved. Then when you are middle age, not middle age, like in your teens, I'm not good enough, I'm not accepted. And when you get a little older, I'm not loved. Yeah. And I'm not popular. So these are the programs that actually start creating disempowering programs that actually create your reality for you. Yes, I'm just giving you my own perspective.
That's very inspiring. And Sushma, you have the coolest accent in the world. I love talking to you. And
Can you imagine?
much
Oh my God, I have to talk differently now.
and you speak so well, and I've been following your Instagram videos, and they are so inspiring, and you've been coming up with one new learning every day, and it's really helping us. So keep going, keep going. Our next question, can I take some more? We have Rima Sangvi from EMA here with us. Rima, thank you so much, first of all, for this initiative. It's great to get us all together. It's great to get Sushma and speak to us about the power of subconscious mind, something that we truly, genuinely need in these times. Rima, can we take some more questions?
Sure. Go right ahead. Go right
All
ahead.
right, okay.
But first, I'd like to say, Sushma, what a session.
Oh,
I think each of the topics that you've hit upon, which is reboot perspective, reboot success, and reboot health, each one is a topic on its own and requires, one session on its own. So I think so important that we go back to this. But before you start with other questions, Sonam, I have a question for you, and you just, touched upon it a little bit, which is, you so beautifully said that, when you self sabotage, there is a defense mechanism that comes into you. I think when you say this, how do you resolve it? Because for the people that I've met or indulged with, there's some of them are sometimes compulsive liars. Sometimes there's a you, they actually, everything's about a defense mechanism. Every time you reply back, there is defense. So how do you come over something like that?
So what happens is, Rima, we can't change anybody. We can only change ourselves. So when people are on the defensive, like I'm just going to tell you a very simple thing to do. Yeah, you just uh, uh, take, later with your husband, do this exercise. You go and you both hold your hands towards each other and push each other. When you push each other, you will see that there is tension. Yeah, and you're pushing, and then someone's going in the back and someone falls. Instead of pushing each other, what I would really suggest is that leave your hands loose and you let the other person flow. And at that point of time, you do not know whether they are flowing or you are flowing. Give this a shot. And that's the same you do with other people's subconscious minds, because you can't change them, they can change you. Yet, when you allow somebody in your space, you have to actually control the narrative of your space. You have to dictate the narrative of your space. So call them out is all I would say. Call them out. Say, hey, with lots of love, in an empowering aspect, and tell them, well, this is what I am perceiving of you, not this is how you are. See, this is what we say. We put judgment. This is how you are. Da, 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 da. Instead, we as entrepreneurs would require to use language like, this is what I perceive it. Possibly this is not your objective, or this is not what you really meant to do. Yeah, this is how I'm perceiving it. So I thought it's very important for me to sit you down and enable you to see a perspective that when you are coordinating or you are dealing with other people, this is what really comes to the forefront. And when you give feedback,
just to make you realize that, what I did, and this is because out of a not office experience, but a personal experience, is that what I did is I actually made the person realize is that, you are a compulsive liar. So change that, because the one thing that I don't like is lies. You
Okay.
know, so
So
that, yeah. So maybe it
so
worked.
there exactly, we have to drop judgments,
Yeah.
okay, of the other people. You know why? Because when we are judged, we have judgments of other people, Rima, they
Yeah.
will show up exactly the way we judge them. Yeah. So when we do operate from a whole bunch of I don't like, I don't want, I don't understand, our entire life, it keeps showing up. Like, remember, I did that close your eyes and look around. So what happens is when you shift your uh, uh, relationship with the person, it's very important you say to the person, start asking yourself, what am I creating that this person needs to lie? What am I showing up as? Because the only person you can change is you. So when we start asking ourselves, what am I creating that this person is showing up that way? What space am I giving to this person to actually lie continuously to me? How can I shift the reality with this person and leave this out there? Like I told you, the answers will pop up, will 100% pop up. And this is not spiritual gyan, this is subconscious gyan.
No,
Okay?
no, it's amazing. Really amazing. You need someone to tell you this,
Yeah.
which is important. We all know it, but you actually need someone to tell you that this is the subconscious mind.
Correct. So
Amazing.
I just saw a question, interesting question asking, is ego a
Ego,
part
yeah.
of the subconscious mind? It's created. Yes, ego is created by the subconscious mind. So like you see, when the children are small, they call themselves in third person because they have not created an identity about themselves. Okay, so they say, like Joshua used to say, Joshua wants coffee. Not coffee. Joshua wants chocolate. But but Yet, the minute ego started building up, he started identifying himself as a personality. And that's when the word I came up. So, so don't miss, there is another thing called egoism. Okay. Egoism is, as a child, egoism is aham. In Hindi, we call it aham. So, egoism is developed is even before you are born. Yet, ego starts developing around the age of 2, yeah, 2 or 3. That's when the coding actually intensifies.
Sushma,
So,
thank you so much for answering our questions. I feel recharged. Rima has something to say over here. Rima.
Yes.
Sonam, you want to address Mandeep Malhotra's question, which is how can we come over the challenge of huge gap in ecosystem between geographies? Shushma, that's for you.
I beg your pardon? Ecosystem? What? Sorry, Mandeep, what?
So,
How
so
can we come over the challenge of a huge gap in ecosystem between geographies?
In what way are we talking about in relation to what?
I think I think the behavioral challenge is what he's talking about, because between ecosystem and geographies, the various geographies, there is so much of gap.
Good
I
question. Understood. Okay. There are there are a few operating principles that I have utilized for myself, especially when we are operating across geographies, because everybody, like across geographies, have got a different coding, because all cultural codings are all different, yeah, because they're all influenced by our surroundings. So there are 2, 3 things that I apply for myself. Number one is I very clear that I am not always right. So it is not about right or wrong. It is never about right or wrong. It is always about perspective. So one of the critical things that when we utilize and we are having conversations with people across geographies, use the word my perspective. It works magic. Yeah. Another thing I really immerse myself in is when we're dealing with people from other cultures, the eagerness to understand their culture needs to be there. When we start understanding their culture, we start using the language of their culture. Because I want to remind you, we can tick people off just by the language we use. So language is something which is that predominant. I do leadership sessions across the world, across the globe, sitting from home. And I realized that leaders today do not use empowering language. Across geographies, empowering language becomes even more important to use. So, in my perspective, I feel, what do you think asking questions like the what and the how become very, very important, especially across geographies and dealing with other cultures.
Super. So, Sonam, you want to wrap up, and then I'll do my part.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sushma. I'm feeling recharged and energized. I've made these many notes today, and I'm going to read them after the session. Thank you so much for this. This is really interesting. We are going to quickly take up one last question, which I think is very relevant right now. Shamir asks us, Sushma, do you find anything positive in this lockdown? And what is our learning from this epidemic, from this
Hi,
pandemic?
Shamir. Thank you so much, darling, for this question. Um, I don't like to use the word positive or negative. I never use the word positive or negative, ever. I use the word empowering or disempowering. So yes, this is it's a critical time for us. And biggest lesson I think we really need to learn in this time, and what really need to focus on and ensure all our energies are focused on, is what do we need to learn as human beings, as a race. Yeah? We are all locked in. Uh, we can hear the birds chirping. So I can see a lot of wonderful, empowering things. I can hear birds chirping. I get opportunity to talk to all my friends every single day. I've got an opportunity to work. So what meaning is this creating for you? And also, Shamir, I really request you, stop consuming the disempowering content. Do not look at it and do not download it. Yeah, because disempowering content will start creating a disempowering context for you. Content creates context. So be aware of what context you're creating and what you are breathing. Okay, so that is a little bit from me. I hope I've answered your question, Shaman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Team EMA, who's worked really hard to bring us this really positive session, need of the hour right now in these challenging times. Thank you, Team EMA. And from EMA, on that note, today on the second episode of the Michael Menezes Knowledge Series, we have none other than Rima Sangvi. Rima, over to you.
Rima, before you close, I just want to thank EMA. I want to thank EMA for actually being EMA. I think we've really come together, doing all these sessions for all of us in the industry as well as for out of the industry. And the team is rocking. Thank you so much for all of you who have made this possible. Endless phone calls, Rima, Archal, Prashant, my darling Charmi, Himanshu over there calling me, and all the support, all of you, everyone who has messaged me today, all our members. Thank you. I love you all. I'm always here. See, Ma Sushma is prakat hua finally. So thank you, Team Ima. I love you all. I'm always with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sushma. I'd like to take some specific.
Oh, Deepak also, my Deepak Pawar also.
Yes, exactly. So just, I want to tell you, Sushma, that you've left me wanting for more. Thank God I have access to you, and I'm going to call you on this one. I also want to put in a comment that our friend Kantil here has put in, saying that, he's said it to himself a zillion times, and now he's put it out there in the public chat that he wants to quit smoking, and he's put it out there. So yeah, thanks to your session, Sushma, this has been possible. All I want to say, guys, is thank you, Sonam. Thank you, Sushma, for coming forward and making this happen and taking the time out to address everybody in EMA and all our viewers. Deepak Pawar, without whom, on the technology front, we are helpless. So Prakash and Deepak, thank you very much. The entire secretariat team and my team in the West, which is Harshal and Archan, thank you for being, always there. So yes, we're going to come up with more series like this, guys, and watch out for the next one tomorrow. But for now, Sushma, you were amazing, and thank you so very much.
Thank you. And Sanjoy, leave the best for last, yeah?
Entire NEC. I mean, there's no one.
All of them, everyone. I think it's not any one particular person. It's
Yes,
everyone, all of us.
Vipul, everybody who's involved in this series, Vijay and Arun, everybody.
Thank you. Can I get the chat of this later?
We get everything, Sushma.
Okay. Bye, guys. Love you all. See you on the other side.
I love you. Take care.